Blog Talk Radio.
Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot, oh my. It's just another night for Supernatural Girlz. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Here are your supernatural hosts, Patricia Baker and Becky Andreasen. Supernatural Girlz.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Supernatural Girlz. I am your host, Patricia Baker, and I am here with my incredible, talented co-host, world-famous numerologist, Patricia Kirkman. Hi, Patricia.
I thought you were going to say more about me.
I will, later in the
Hello,
show.
sweetheart. How are you? You're such a love. I just love talking with you.
Well, thanks. This is going to be fun tonight because we are going to be talking with a terrific guest. She has been generous enough with her time to call us from Ireland, where it is the middle of the night there. Carole Guyett is with us tonight, the author of Sacred Plant Initiation. So this is going to be fun. We're going to learn a lot yet again.
Oh, yes. That's the part that makes it so wonderful. And I can't believe that she'll stay in the middle of the night just to talk with us. Ooh.
I know. God bless her.
Nice.
Well, she has so much to share. So, oh, my goodness, we're going to have to move this along because we got so much going on with Carole tonight. It's great. But I got to tell you, Patricia, it was 57 here today. That was our high. We're a little chilly here in New England. I don't know what happened.
Yes.
We were going along just fine, kind of matching your temperatures in the 90s, and then, bam, last night a storm came in, and we're shivering here today. So I hope for not too long,
though. Come see me, baby. Come see me.
I know, really. I'll be back up in the 90s in just a plane flight away. I think that's what I'll do.
Amazing,
that's what I'll do.
It's been beautiful here today, I'm sorry to say.
Well, I know. It always is, isn't it, in beautiful Tucson? How could it be anything but?
That's true, now that you mention it. It's been in the high 80s today.
Lovely.
But it's been overcast, which means a nice wind and a nice breeze. Ooh.
That's perfect.
I almost think of being at a beach somewhere.
But you're in the desert. What a powerful place to be. There's something so magical about the desert. We've got to ask Carole about that, too, because as we just announced, she's in Ireland. But I wonder if she's ever worked with desert plants. We're going to have to find out about that, too.
That's a thought, yes. My yard is loaded with them.
Oh, see, we got to find out. You could go on a plant diet, right, from stuff in your own yard. So we're going to find out. We are going to find out. But I got some paranormal news I got to share. It's funny, and it's kind of not so funny.
Let's go for it.
The UK police kept secret files about science fiction fans. Can you believe it?
Oh, you're kidding me.
Scotland Yard, no less, once believed that Star Trek fans had the potential to go mad and turn against society. Give me a break. I mean, can they not find better things to do with their resources?
Oh, they were just upset they didn't know where their own UFO was.
I guess. I don't know what their issue was, but they said that back in the 90s, the police in the UK had found it necessary to keep a special dossier documenting potentials for fans of just fans of TV shows such as Star Trek, The X-Files, and they were afraid they would suddenly go mad and kill themselves or other people.
Isn't that incredible? Jeez,
and they
never did anything about the zombie shows.
They just spied on these people, and it says they also were spying on people that were fans of the show Dark Skies and Roswell.
Oh, dear Lord.
I know it. I know. Now, you can only imagine the high level of interest they must have in you and me.
Well, just They could just send us whatever they want to. We're not going anywhere.
We're not. Maybe they'll learn something if they eavesdrop on our show. But anyways, I just thought that was something
that is a
that we should mention, because who knew?
Good Lord.
Who knew that Scotland Yard thought that Star Trek fans could be dangerous? That's like unbelievable.
Well, I guess Mickey Mouse had his problems too, huh?
I guess. Oh, jeez. I don't know. What
Incredible.
is the world coming to when Star Trek fans are under the microscope like that? So
it's scary.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Uh-huh.
But I had to share this with everybody tonight. I just couldn't believe it. So there you have it. There it is.
Well, you made my day, that's for sure. This could be a Ripley's Believe It or Not.
It could be. And now, let's see, we've got numbers to talk about. We're going into 21. Now, you said we're in a retrograde. That does not make me happy.
No, and it has not made me happy. It has messed up anything and everything I'm working on. So all of you, don't throw away anything that doesn't work. Just set it aside. When the retrograde's over, I'll bet you'll be surprised how much of it works again.
Gosh.
Anything to do with communication is giving every one of us a boot in the backside.
Not enjoying it. So this is Mercury retrograde that happens several times, at least a year, right?
At least 3 times a year minimum, yes. Unfortunately, it does. But for those that are born in a retrograde, boy, they're out there just having a ball. But that's not that many of them.
So
the
it
rest
doesn't
of us
affect them,
suffer.
but it affects the rest of us big time.
That's right. So we get good things the rest of the time, and they don't. So Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. No question about that one. But the thing is that anything to do with electronics and communications will definitely get messed up one form or another. It won't work. Put it aside. Try it after the retrograde's over. So that's the best we can do, and pray to God that nothing really major happens.
Now, what is the numerological time saying about major things happening? Today we're 20, tomorrow we're 21. So are we looking forward to some big event?
Well, yeah, we were looking for everything to be perfect today, and it didn't quite go that way, but it wasn't bad. Tomorrow we're in a 7 universal day, and that's all about being impatient, trying to get things done in a hurry. The boogeyman, fantasy, unrealistic things, being worn out, and I'll make you bet 90% of us won't sleep well tonight. And tomorrow we'll all be dragging around because the 7 just kind of takes over the mind, makes us dream a lot, and makes us suspicious of everybody. So my thought is, what are you going to do, Patricia? Tell me what you're going to do tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
So
it's something to
going
think
to be
about.
A little.
I had a very quiet day planned, but
we'll see.
Maybe I'll be crossing over through a portal and be talking to Bigfoot. Who knows? I mean, fantasy.
Well, that's a possibility because it does deal with land and property. And
there you go.
Or universal month that we're in is all about details and doing the work and pushing it forward and making it work out. And that's on a day that says, I think I'll put my feet up. I think it's more like I'll think about it, maybe do it the next day. But you'll get pushed. Either direction you go, we're going to get pushed.
Wow.
My favorite part of this is we get to be the piñata.
I don't want to be a piñata.
Well, then I'll be the stick. You have a choice, the piñata or the stick.
I'll be the stick.
Okay, this time you can be the stick.
Well, at least now we know the energies we're up against or that we need to coordinate our efforts with to make it through the day. So we'll all be sure to do that. And for everybody, please go, if you haven't signed up on our newsletter, make sure you're signed up, supernaturalgirls.com, so you can get in on all the exciting fun coming our way. And we have a big announcement. We are going to be moving to Inception Radio Network. So we've been invited to join their group, and we are going to hop aboard, and we're very excited about it, aren't we?
Oh, I think it's going to be fabulous. We'll be able to reach more people, have more things to share with everybody. Wow, what a way to go.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great move, and as folks know who listen to Renee Barnett from Night Vision, her interview with Becky Andreessen and myself a couple of weeks ago, the sound quality was terrific, and they have their own engineer that works with you on every show, and so it's going to be a better situation for all of our listeners. And believe me, everybody in the audience, you won't have to do anything differently other than just clicking on the link in the newsletter or on the website or on Facebook, wherever we post. It's just going to be a different link, and that will happen on June 17th. We will debut on Inception Radio Network. But you won't have to do anything, listeners. You can just
join in.
Click on the link, and it'll just take you right to us. And we will be there at the same time, same bat time, same bat station. So there you have it.
It's going to be great.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. So,
I am too.
We're a sister show to Renee's Night Vision, so we'll be talking about her show. She'll be talking about Supernatural Girls, and it'll be a nice cross-promotion. We'll get to also explore other avenues with Renee. So many new things coming, and this is a great upgrade for everybody.
It's going to be fabulous.
Yes.
I won't even have to use my broom anymore.
Yeah, I know it. I know. How about it, huh?
I'll park it at the door. We'll be all set, ready to rock and roll.
We are ready to rock and roll. And tonight we're ready to rock and roll with Carole Guyett, and she's an amazing woman. Carole is a medical herbalist, shamanic practitioner, and Celtic priestess. Trained by traditional wise women in the Western mysteries. She has worked with healing plants for over 30 years, and in 2010 she completed a 10-year apprenticeship with, I hope I'm going to pronounce this correctly, Métis medicine woman Arwyn DreamWalker, carrier of the Beauty Way teachings. She offers workshops, teachings, healings, apprenticeships, and personal and group ceremonies, both internationally and at her home in Derrynagittah I'm going to say this right or wrong. I'm going to say it. Caher or Caher, Ireland. Do you know how to say that, Patricia? You've been there.
Absolutely not.
Okay. I just figured I'd put you on the spot.
It's beautiful in print, but to open my mouth and make it come out, it's like, oh, my God.
But wherever it is, I'm sure it's gorgeous and powerful and mystical. And Carole, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much, Patricia. It's a very pleasure to be here, so thank you for inviting me.
Well,
and
thank
I'm
you
very,
for staying up
it's lovely
so
to
late.
hear you. You're very entertaining women.
Good. That's good news. We try to be because
aim to please.
Yes, exactly. We aim to please here, Carole. But my goodness, what an exciting life you've had. And I love your book. Everybody should get it. It's called Sacred Plant Initiations, Communicating with Plants for Healing and Higher Consciousness. Terrific book. Is just packed full of really good information. But how did, tell our audience, how did you get started in all of this?
Well, as you were mentioning, I am a medical herbalist. I've always loved plants since I was a child, and as a young child I had many experiences with plants as spiritual beings and other spiritual beings. So I've always had a love of plants. As I grew older, I kind of learned to keep quiet about some of these experiences because they weren't really necessarily understood by people. But I trained then. I continued always my love of plants, and I loved making lotions and potions like many children do. And then in my 20s, I trained as a medical herbalist in the UK. And at the same time as that, I was fortunate to meet what would be called here a hedge witch, who had learnt the kind of Western mysteries and ways of healing from her maternal grandmother.
Now, a hedge witch, that sounds like something right out of Harry Potter.
Yes, does it? Well, that's what we call them over here. They're like single practitioners of the old ways, magic and healing. So that would be known as a hedge witch in Britain and Ireland. So she trained me at the same time that I was doing this very formal academic training in herbal medicine. So it meant that my practice of herbal medicine has always been a very spiritual approach. I've always seen plants as spiritual beings, and have practiced that way. So since that time, I've practiced as a herbalist and a ceremonialist, and came to live in Ireland. And I've always felt that plants tend to be very underestimated. Our common plants, people often undervalue them. I don't think their deeper qualities are recognised that much. And over the years, I became more and more interested in wanting to really demonstrate the deeper qualities to people. And I always felt that I was being called to remember some of the old ways of doing ceremony with our plants, just the common plants that grow in the fields and hedges.
Well, now that's what makes this book that you've written of such great interest to so many people, because it's exactly that. It's plants that you can grow yourself in your garden. They're legal. They're things you're likely to find in a garden space. Because we've had shamans on before, and they're talking about some psychotropic plants that, of course, you have to be concerned about the legality of them in whatever state you're in, at least here in the United States. So I know a lot of people travel down to South America to participate with ayahuasca and things like that. But here you've come up with an interesting, very, very interesting way of working with these plants, like primrose. I was so surprised to see that. Mm-hmm. That's one of the most powerful plants, as you have mentioned in the book.
Yeah, well, in the book I've picked 8 plants to correspond to each of the 8 fire festivals. And actually we've dieted with many, many more. One of the really key plants that we've done a lot of diets here with has been, or initiation ceremonies, has been the primrose. And all of these ceremonies have been initiations by the plants themselves, taking people to new levels. Primrose is of itself a plant of new beginnings and initiation. So primrose is a very powerful plant. And that's the thing. It's like these common plants that are growing all around us, like primrose, like the wild rose, the dandelion, the nettle, they're actually so potent and can offer such amazing gifts, not just physically, but on all levels, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And I feel, and this is what we've been experiencing in our groups doing these ceremonies, I feel that they're really offering to help us expand our consciousness at this time. And as you say, these are just regular plants. They're legal, they're safe, they're growing all around us. So it is amazing what the plant world is offering us.
And I love how you talk about this right now with us and also in your book, because it's that plants are offering this gift to us. And again, you know, especially here in the United States, we live these busy little lives, you know, running around crazy. What we have to say about it at the end of the day, I don't know, not much of anything, but we've been busy. So for people to take time out to develop these relationships, it's not a likely scenario. There has to be some form of love, passion, or interest in this. And yet in your book, you talk about it in a beautiful way, that it doesn't even have to take a tremendous amount of time. Even with the initiations and the healings that you do, you say 2 to 3 days is the most that you do.
Yeah, well, all the ones I've described in the book have been simply over a weekend. So, and some of them just starting Saturday morning and finishing Sunday afternoon. So they're pretty short. You know, obviously you can diet with plants over much longer periods. But the ones I'm describing are, like you say, 2 or 3 days, and the effects over a short amount of time are phenomenal. And really, it's such a delight, actually, to take the time out and spend a weekend with a plant. as you say, in our busy lives, and people in Ireland are pretty busy as well. I don't know if it quite matches up to America, but it's still really a treat to take the time out and just be with a plant, and all that brings over a couple of days.
Now, can you talk us through, and I know this information is very well written in your book for our audience who hasn't read the book yet, can you just talk us through if somebody comes to you to participate in this type of initiation, how does it happen? And is the plant chosen ahead of time for the group? Because I know you work with the group. So how does all that take place?
Yeah, well, the first thing is I would make an elixir or a liquid extract of the plant in advance. So that means I do choose a plant in advance, and sometimes the plant really makes it well, often the plants are vying for who wants to be doing the next plant diet, to be honest. They're very...
They're like, pick me.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly it. I've had, like, for the spring equinox not that long ago, there was a huge competition between the dandelion and the nettle. And it's literally that, pick me, no, pick me, no. There's just so many plants out there, So it tends to be, because what we've been doing here is dieting with them, doing these ceremonies at the fire festivals, or the 8. By that I mean the 4 Celtic fire festivals, which are what we call Beltane, which is May Day, and then Lughnasadh and Samhain, and that's Halloween. Lughnasadh is the autumn festival. I can't remember what you call it in the States, actually, but that's the August one. And then there's what we call Bridget's Day, or Imbolc. And then there's also the 4 solar festivals of the 2 equinoxes and the 2 solstices. So anyway, so the plants chosen would fit with the time of year, but they're also ones that are particularly calling. And sometimes it's for particular healings for people in the group. Sometimes, well, it's a whole combination of factors, really, but usually there's one very clear, despite their competitiveness, there's usually one clear plant that comes forward. So I would, having once chosen the plant, so I mean, if somebody's doing this themselves at home, they could, like now, for instance, coming up to the next festival would be the summer solstice. The dog rose, for instance, in where we live anyway, would be very abundant at this time of year. So it's a classic one to diet with around now. So anyway, once the plant is chosen, then I will make a liquid extract in preparation for the plant diet. And that could take, it could be done just at the last minute, or it could be done over the course of the year. So for instance, with something like hawthorn, I might pick the berries in the autumn and then wait and pick the blossoms in the spring, and eventually make an elixir of both parts of the plant so that I can incorporate them together. So I then...
And this is again, I need to mention to everybody, this is a very different process and much more profound in its effect than just going to the health food store and buying an extract. This is something that's done with intent, and it's a whole other thing. And maybe you could talk a little bit about that, because again, we're very used to now hearing about herbal extracts, and you can buy them just about any health food store, but it's not the same.
No, that's true.
Tell us how different it is.
Yeah, because well, like as you just mentioned, the intent is the first thing, having the intent, but then you're all the time making a connection with the plant. So it's very different than going to a store and just buying something that's ready-made over the counter. I'm going out on the land, asking who wants to be picked. So always asking permission, and I mean, actually, in my experience, they're usually really, like, as I say, vying to be picked. But it's all about being in relationship with the plants and with the land, and picking in a very sacred, mindful way that's honouring of the plants and leaving offerings and really being in relationship. So it's very different than buying something over the counter. And then the extracts are all made in a sacred way, and then there's a final mixing that is usually done the day before the ceremony starts, where I do what I would describe as a major prayer ceremony, mixing the extracts together, putting prayers into the liquid. So it's all very mindfully and intentfully done, honouring the plants. So then we end up with bottles of an elixir, which and we'll gather, for instance, on a Saturday morning, and during the weekend then people will be fasting, or if they absolutely can't fast, they may have particular specified foods that they're allowed to have, but generally speaking people are fasting and periodically drinking this plant elixir, and the whole thing is done as a ceremony. So we really very mindfully call in all the helpful spirits and really honouring the plants, and by working in ceremony it really helps make that connection between the physical and the spiritual worlds, and helps us to go into the mystery.
So it sounds like it helps to reconnect people to everything that's around them, deep inside themselves, and it puts them back into that balance, that cyclic balance that we get out of whack with just because we live stupid lives.
Like we do. I was fascinated with the fact that you leave offerings to the plants, and that even if it's a gemstone or things of that nature, that it could be anything of consequence that could be left for the plant itself.
Yes. Well, that's part of this whole thing of honouring the plant and seeing all of our relations, which means plants, animals, humans, minerals, all of us as being equal. So it's not about being a consumer. It's really honouring each other as sacred beings. So and being in gratitude as well, because really they give so much, and then we're fortunate enough to be gifted with their bodies to make this elixir. So to give an offering is kind of a very natural thing to do, really, and it's an offering from the heart. So it's really a way to give from the heart. And to leave something tangible, obviously it has to be something suitable for the environment. But so, for instance, I would often use other dried herbs, for instance, like dried lavender or rose petals. And as I'm sure you're aware, like native people would often leave pinches of tobacco.
Right.
Sometimes I'd leave small crystals. The fairies in particular love little crystals, but so do lots of plants. So something homemade, something that you've made yourself and really put yourself into. So it's very important, the leaving of offerings.
Is there a certain way of keeping the herbs and such that you put aside to use for this? Do you store them in a specific way, or just allow them to dry in a natural way?
Oh yeah, you can just dry them in a natural way. I then keep them I have a small, what I call a blessing pot that I carry with me, which is a sort of beaded pot that is something very beautiful, or you could have them in a little pouch. So, but they could be fresh, they could be dried. It's really, because this is an offering from the heart, they need to, whatever you're giving needs to be something that you really feel is beautiful, and that you really value. And so so that you're not just sort of giving something, it's like if you'd leave like an offering of food, you'd give them the best rather than just the leftovers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something that you value.
Well, that makes good sense. Well, I'm drawn towards the primrose. I think of the song Primrose Lane, and you think of that being warm and comforting and such, and I see that that's the first plant that you made reference to in the book, which is just marvelous.
Yes, and it is a marvelous plant, and really opens gateways for people to take them to new places within themselves, as you mentioned. Primrose is an amazing plant.
Now, Carole, for people who can't travel to Ireland to have this wonderful experience with you, I saw on your website that you actually offer some of these extracts for sale. And is primrose one of them? Do you offer that?
Oh, no, probably what you've seen on my website are flower essences.
Oh, so that's
which
very different.
Yes. I make flower essences or essences from various substances, because some of them are minerals or environmental, and that's what I sell on the website. The elixirs that I make for the plant diets I don't sell, actually, because I make them specifically for a plant diet, and then we generally use it. What I'm selling are vibrational essences. Usually in a plant elixir, I include the flower essence of the particular plant when I do the final mixing. But that isn't what I'm offering. I am doing a plant diet or initiation ceremony in California in September.
Oh, okay.
California. What part of California?
Oh, a place called Rivers Bend Retreat Center. It's going to be with the redwoods, so it's in an area of redwood forest, which I'm really excited about, I must say.
That's a beautiful country.
Yeah, well, I've never actually met the redwoods, not in America before.
You'll love them.
I know. I'm sure I will. I'm so excited. And it's interesting because I've been doing a lot of work this year with the dandelion, and what's coming through in dreams is this connection between the dandelion and the redwood, and how both of them at this point in history are acting as messengers bringing heaven to earth. So it's an interesting combination.
That really is.
Yes.
Especially because, this year, this season, they're all over. The dandelions are out in droves. Now, I love dandelions. I don't like them on my lawn because I like to see this green there. But
they do make a great wine.
Yes, and I've made dandelion wine, and it is great. But tell us more about this mystical herb, because, again, it's the type of thing that we do try to poison or run over with our lawnmowers. So, but tell us about the elements of it.
Well, it's fascinating, and I'm fascinated to hear that it's very prolific in the States at the moment as well, because it's been the same here. And
really?
It's this. I've never seen as many dandelions around as this year, and it's the same in Britain. But they're just everywhere, and like 10 times more abundant than usual. Last year they kind of started to build up, but this year they've just gone crazy, and everybody is mentioning them.
Why is that? There must be some message in that to us.
Well, yeah. We, in doing the plant ceremonies here with dandelion, have just had amazing visionary experiences, and things that you wouldn't expect with a non-psychotropic plant. These are dandelions. And as a herbalist, I've been using dandelion for years. It's this, the root has this fantastic effect from the liver. The leaves are wonderful for the kidneys. It's, for a herbalist, it's one of our mainstay plants. Spiritually, it seems to really have a mission at the moment. And it is about bringing heaven to earth. When you look at it, it's actually makes itself quite clear when you notice the root and how it anchors and grounds energies that come in, and then it has these very watery leaves full of nutrients, and then this amazing flower connected with the sun, the yellow flower, that turns into this ethereal globe, this amazing seed head, which is just like the flower of life from sacred geometry, if you're familiar with that, and sends these seeds out, if the wind's in the right direction, apparently they can cover huge distances. So it has this big connection with the sun, with the flower, with the moon, with the seed head, but also with the whole cosmos, and then very much rooted in the earth. And it really does seem to have this big mission at the moment to bring messages from heaven and to anchor them and to help us move to a higher vibration. I think all the plants...
It's so powerful. And it's just a dandelion. We think of it.
Yeah, I know. It's like, but the encouraging thing for me is people who in the past would have complained a lot about dandelions and, as you were saying, put Roundup on them or whatever, have actually this year have been surprisingly saying how much they love them.
Wow.
So I mean, I know not everyone is yet, but I'm encouraged by that. I think they're actually managing to infiltrate people's minds.
Well, they've certainly infiltrated everything else around here. So
when the seeds blow, everything grows dandelions. That's for sure.
Oh gosh. You're not kidding. So, I'm excited to hear this. Now, when you prepare a dandelion, it sounds like, based on what you shared in your book and also just recently, just a few minutes ago on the show, that you would use the whole plant. You would use the root, the leaves, the yellow flower, the stem, everything. Yes.
It's nice to try and bring in all the elements of the plant so they're all working together. And especially with a plant like dandelion, they've all got their amazing strengths and gifts that they're bringing. So I would use all the parts, yes.
Now, I have a question. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, if anyone is making their own elixirs, which are really easy to make, but of course, if you are making elixirs yourself, you do need to know the plant that you're working with so that you can know what parts to use and all the rest of it.
Yeah, that's critical. Well, somebody just wrote in the chat room and they want to know, there's a question about dandelions. Do you have any advice about eating dandelion salad, and can you actually receive communication by consuming them that way?
Well, you certainly can use them in salad, the leaves. They're highly nutritious. They're packed full of potassium, but all sorts of minerals. So, yes, the fresh leaves are wonderful in salads. And really, you can communicate with a plant by sitting with it, you can communicate in so many ways with plants. So it's certainly possible by picking the leaves, particularly by going to the plant yourself and connecting and picking the leaves and then having them in your salad. That is, you could say, a form of plant diet. I mean, you could, of course, fast and just have dandelion salad for a day, and that could be a simple plant diet. So it's a way the more intentful and focused a way you do it, the better, deeper communication you're likely to have. But yes, that is a way.
Well, okay. Now, I have to share with you that while we've been talking, I've been looking at your energy, and you have a very interesting energy, because most of the time when I look at people, I see entities around them in different ways, but they're behind you in a line.
Oh.
It's like they're following you. I mean, I've never seen anything like this, Carole. But it's a very obviously you have achieved quite a presence as a priestess, and I guess that's why I'm seeing the entities from the other realms lining up that way behind you. So clearly, you really know what you're doing, and they're acknowledging that you know what you're doing when it comes to developing these very sacred and profound relationships with these plants. So good for you, and it's quite an accomplishment.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, we're going to take a very short commercial break and come back, and we have all kinds of questions coming out of the chat room about fairies. So we're going to go there next.
Okay.
So everybody, stay tuned. We are speaking with Carole Guyett, who is the author of Sacred Plant Initiations. If you have a question, you can write it down in the chat room. We'll ask it on your behalf, or you can call us at 646-478-0828. Again, that's 646-478-0828. So stay tuned, everybody. We will be right back.
Are you searching but not sure what for? Does happiness seem like it's always around the corner, or perhaps fleeting? Life can seem like you're winning on the outside, but on the inside, you might be running on empty. Well, it's high time to rendezvous with your soul. Imagine being able to let go of emotional baggage effortlessly and have less mind chatter, freeing you up to be present to your beautiful, magnificent self. Wouldn't that be nice? More silence and the ability to hear your own true voice within. To be where life is, and joy and love is your natural state. This is all possible with Cosmic Fusion's 5D++ Awakening and Transformation Workshop, which will bring the quantum vortex, scalar wave, photon pulse in your life. The all-knowing, all-powerful, and ever-present mother of all frequencies and vibrations. This energy signature, direct from Source, is then available 24/7 to upgrade your potential to infinity and support you through exciting and profound shifts. This is something that cannot be explained. It simply must be experienced. But don't take our word for it. Visit our website for some life-transforming video and written testimonials shared right from the heart. So don't wait and visit CosmicFusion.com. That's KOSMICFUSION.com. www.CosmicFusion.com to find out more. Your soul is awaiting your transformation.
Bonjour, this is Veronique Raskin, founder of the Organic Wine Company. As one of the pioneers of the organic wine movement, since 1980 I have brought you the very best and most authentic organic wines directly to your table. I work with small family estates who grow certified organic grapes and produce exceptional wines. You can purchase our wines individually from our website at theorganicwinecompany.com or join one of our wine clubs. Our organic wines are perfect for you and for your family as gifts for friends and relatives, and they are simply spectacular for the holidays. Visit us at theorganicwinecompany.com to enjoy the very best organic wines conveniently delivered to your door. I am Veronique Raskin, passionate about my mission. I offer to you vegan, organic, and biodynamic wines, wines made by people of the heart, wines with a heart. Au revoir. Call us at 1-888-ECO-WINE.
Your property tax bill
Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
Welcome back, everyone. We are speaking with our terrific guest tonight, Carole Guyett, who's called in from Ireland to be with us in the middle of the night. So we're talking with Carole about her book, Sacred Plant Initiations, Communicating with Plants for Healing and Higher Consciousness. And we got to go there, Carole. We got to talk about the fairy realm. Please do share. What in the world, how do you have a relationship with them, and what do you know about them that you can share with us?
Well, that's a bit of a broad question. What do I know? What can I share? Well, just that they're everywhere. I think I do find in Ireland the fairies and the nature spirits are very accessible. For me, having lived in both England and Ireland, I find the spirit realm very close to the surface, you might say, and accessible in Ireland. So there's a lot of fairies here, and certain plants are very much connected with the fairies, like the hawthorn, for instance. So that is working with the hawthorn is a automatic or very easy way to connect with the fairies.
Oh. Now, you said they like little crystals left for them.
Yeah, they like little shiny objects.
I do
so
too.
Not just crystals, but jewellery. I mean, some of the things that have happened here with taking of jewellery or leaving of jewellery that the fairies, I mean, they play a lot of tricks. They love to have fun. And then strange things happen, like sometimes, you leave, you might leave an offering. For instance, something that happened recently, somebody left a lovely little piece of silver jewellery as an offering for the fairies, on the land here, and then it turned up in someone else's house the other side of the country about 2 months later.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
fascinating.
they do all sorts of interesting things, and they'll switch things, and they love to have play tricks, and I think Ireland is a great place for the fairies.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Apparently so. And you have the gift of vision. It sounds like you can see them.
Well, I tend not in the way that some people do. I tend to get glimpses of them, or I sense them. I wouldn't say that I see them in the way that some people do very, very clearly. I see them out of the corner of my eye, and I know that they're there, so I feel them in that way.
And I think it's important, too, to share, if you could, any personal stories or other experiences you've heard of people with fairies and in the fairy realm, and the absolute, you have to be respectful. I mean, these are not just little Tinkerbells here. These are beings that are quite powerful, and they're not all nice. So,
no, absolutely.
Be respectful of them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's the same as with the plants. I mean, you need to have total respect, and it's as you say, it's not all about playing with little tiny Tinkerbells. These are major beings in different kind of energies, if you like. The same as like working, say, with elementals like fire spirits. I mean, they all demand respect, rightly so. Everything needs to be honoured and respected. With the fairies, you need to. I think they're often it's sort of put across in too much of a twee way, and like little toys almost for humans to play with, and that's really not what it's about.
Not at all. And I think it's just an important point to go over. Again, like you said, these are beings that are powerful, and they carry a lot of wisdom, and it is something we need to respect if we're going to work at all in the plant realm as well as in the fairy realm. So, now, did you have experiences with fairies when you were children? Because you did mention something about having spiritual experiences when you were a child.
Yeah, I, as a small child, had experiences with various spiritual beings, if you like, what I perceived as fairies and plant spirit. Well, to me, the plants were always alive from when I was small, so that, you know what it's like, if something is normal to you, you just think that's the way it is and don't realise that maybe not everyone else feels it that way.
Yes.
So to me, that was always the way plants were. Initially, thinking that everybody felt the same, and angels as well. So I would have felt and seen more as well as a child, fairies and larger spiritual, larger, but just meaning, not in a superior or inferior way. It's just some beings are much bigger in size than others.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah, some of them take up a tremendous amount of space. But it's amazing that you had these experiences as a child, and you were obviously able to keep a lot of these things intact and to yourself, so that you weren't ostracized throughout your life. But certainly,
well, yeah, I think what happened for me, because when I did speak about them as a child, I was told they were either I was making it up or they were in my imagination. So I did stop seeing them in that way, and it was only as I got older that they started to come back. But I went through a phase, as I always kept my relationship with plants, but I stopped having the same experiences that I'd had as a small child, and I think that happens to a lot of people.
I think you're right. We've certainly had a lot of them on the show that have said exactly what you've said.
Yeah.
So the discouragement that comes in from adults or schools or religious organizations is overwhelming to a child.
Yeah,
so
isn't it?
You're lucky it came back, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've got a question. Let's see, Rebecca. We're going to put her on the air. She has a question about 4 o'clock fairies. So let's see if I can get Rebecca on the air. The board is operating so slowly tonight, Patricia. I don't know what it's doing.
Retrograde, darling. Retrograde.
Retrograde. Of course. Why didn't I think of that?
Anything to do with movement and information is dragging its little feet.
There you go. See, you predicted it. You were right. Well, Rebecca, are you there?
I'm here.
Well, welcome to the show. I see you've got a very interesting question for Carole, so go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. Carole, I had a very unusual situation where actually I was with Patricia Baker. She had done a healing circle for Helene Olson, a very dear friend of ours that had cancer. And after the healing circle was over, I hung up from the line, and Patricia's number called me back, and I answered the line, and I heard little voices in the background. They sounded like they were. It was a different language, just completely different language, and it was women, and they were just chatting away. And I thought, at first, because I knew it was Patricia Baker's line, and I thought, well, maybe I'm eavesdropping on a call that I shouldn't be listening to. But I listened for a minute, and I had said, I'd called Patricia's name, Patricia, are you there? Patricia, are you there? And no answer. And I listened really intently. I thought, well, maybe it's this guest that she has. And I hung up from the line because I felt like I was eavesdropping, okay? And so I hung up and then called Patricia Baker back several days later, and I mentioned it to her about it. I asked her, did you have guests there? And, did you know that you called me and all that kind of stuff? And she said no. And she had done a meditation on it to find out what she felt about it, and she felt that it was fairies that were here at my home. She asked me if I had a large group of flowers that were growing at my home, and I live under a 500-year-old live oak tree.
Oh.
But I have 4 clocks that are just, when I first moved here, I tried to move them, and they didn't want to move. They wanted to stay right where they were, and so I never messed with them again, But I talk to the plants out here, and we don't do any kind of poisoning or anything. But anyway, so my question to you is, do you have a feeling about 4 o'clock? Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that name? That may be some other kind of name that they're known by.
Yeah, no, I don't know what you mean. 4 clocks, are you saying?
Yes, ma'am. 4 FOUR, 4 o'clock, like
and that's
the
type of
hour.
flower,
like the time.
Yeah, I don't know it as a flower. Has it got another name?
I don't know. I've only known them as that, but they're kind of a pinky purple flower, and they're real profuse. I mean, they'll get really large. They'll make big bushes, and they make a lot of flowers on them. But I know that they were here at this property when we purchased it. And they're everywhere. I mean, they're just everywhere. And
how are they like? How tall are they? Because I don't know this name, and I wonder if we call them something different over here.
I'll bet you do. The plant itself is a light green leaf, and it's kind of a pointed.
Oh, here's the name of it. I just looked it up. It's called Mirabilis, and it's spelled Jalapa. Jalapa, the 4 o'clock flower, the most commonly grown ornamental species of Mirabilis.
Yeah, I'm not actually familiar with it. I guess it's a garden plant. It's not a medicinal herb, but I'm sure I could find it. I'd have to look it up though. But so I'm not familiar with it. So I can't really say.
Have you ever heard of any kind of a plant trying to communicate like that, trying to intercept over a phone line?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely possible because they kind of can try and get through in any way. So that wouldn't surprise me at all, trying to come through on a telephone. So that's definitely possible. Just like they can come through in dreams, they sometimes can use, like I was saying about moving actual physical pieces of jewelry and stuff like that around, moving them to, if I imagine it takes a lot of energy to do it, but they do manage to, like putting light switches on and off and that kind of thing. So why not come through on a telephone?
Well, I have them. I do have a lot of crystals and minerals around my home, and my house is just loaded with all kinds of plants, and I feel like they're taking over me because I have them everywhere. I have crystals and plants everywhere, and I talk to all of them. So,
well, they probably love you. And that's that can easily happen if you do respect and honor them and care for them and love them, essentially, then they're going to respond to that. So they probably are really not trying to take over necessarily, but they want to be there, and they love crystals. So they're most likely working with the crystals, and the crystals loving the plants as well. So sounds like a paradise for them. Yeah.
Well, for me too. I wished I knew how to communicate with them better. Although I feel like I must be because they're because we coexist very well.
Exactly.
I do love them very much. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what's interesting to me is this. If it was the fairies at your home on that phone call, which makes perfect sense to me, then what was the message? What were they trying to get across to you?
I don't know. This is, Patricia told me that, I need to sit with them and try and, communicate. Yeah. But, my little mind, it's always chattering, okay? And so I don't know whether I'm getting the proper message or not, So I just, expect that I'm going to get the right message, and I listen to them. I always, say, please communicate to me what you need from me, and and everything is just, it looks like a jungle inside my house.
Yeah, well,
sounds like a feel good.
And do you paint or draw? Do you ever draw them?
Well, I do paint and I do draw, and I'm very artistic person. So yes, I do. So
that might be a way to get the message through.
Good idea, Carole. Yes. Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Okay. Well, I don't want to take up the whole night, but thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I wanted to make sure that I wasn't completely crazy.
No, it sounds normal.
Better than you thought.
Thank you, Rebecca, for your call.
You bet. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
I love our audience. It's, again, our tagline is where paranormal is normal, and it's wonderful to have these conversations without any judgment, without anybody saying, "Oh, how can that be true?" It's just nice to have an easy conversation and an exciting conversation about fairies and plants and crystals and all of these really mystical, magical things. So it's great. It's great having you here, Carole.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here.
Now, you have, like you mentioned, 8 plants that you go through in your book. But here's another question. Now, I would imagine you have a private practice also in Ireland, so people come to you for individual sessions. Now, do people come to you with physical ailments? Like, I know Patricia and I were talking earlier today. Patricia hurt her back. Do people come to you with things like that and say, God, I pulled my back out. It hurts really badly. What is there a plant that I can work with that will bring me through this healing?
Well, yeah, because I'm a medical herbalist as well as a shamanic practitioner, and I work with flower essences. So people come with all range of things, from totally physical complaints to purely spiritual or emotional or mental or the whole range, and especially I live in rural Ireland, so I might have a farmer who limps down the lane and has a sore leg, On the other hand, I might have someone with a completely spiritual issue and nothing apparently physical. So, and anything in between, So it's a complete wide range, really, of people that I see.
And so then do certain plants come to you and say, I would like to work with this person and help them with their healing? Is that how you...
Yeah, it's hard to generalize. Often, because obviously I've got a real solid foundation in herbal medicine, so I know their healing gifts for over not just my training, but years of experience as well, because I've been a herbalist for 30 years. But what I find often is as someone walks in the door, I might see a plant with them, or when they start talking, plants come straight away.
No kidding. So you'll see something in their energy that is a plant. You'll see that energy coming in with them, and then you'll know that's the plant for them.
Yeah. I mean, and then I'd be talking to them anyway. I mean, I do different types of healing, so sometimes there's a lot of talking, sometimes they'll be lying on a couch and I'll be doing more energetic work, so it varies. And the plants can come in different ways. But, yeah, very often, even talking to someone, I'll see the plant in their face. It's like they look like the plant. I mean, like you would, you'll often see someone say who looks like a particular bird or an animal. And for me, I'll often see plants in people.
Now, what about animals? Do you help people come to you with their pets and say, help me, my cat or dog?
Absolutely, actually, yes. Yes.
Wow.
I find the flower essences, for instance, are particularly helpful for animals. And as I say, because I live in the countryside, it's not just pets. Sometimes it's, like a cow recently who had mastitis, but really the cause of the mastitis was more emotional. And so it was the flower essences. But that's the wonderful thing with the plants. You can give something even as a poultice, say, for the physical, the more obviously physical treatment, if you like, and at the same time be giving flower essences for the emotional side. And with flower essences, what I like to do is to douse for them with a pendulum, so even if the animal's not there, which usually if it's something like a cow or something, the person doesn't usually bring them into the clinic, but I can douse absently and find out what's going on for them, which is really helpful, which is
that
the
really
same
is, especially because animals can't, they can talk to us, we don't know how to listen. But it's a terrible I'm going through a mystery right now with my little Shih Tzu. I should send you his picture and see if you can help me, because I brought him to 2 vets and a specialist, and they still don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, well, it's the same as with babies, or anyone who's not able to articulate. It's really helpful to check it out with a pendulum or some other form of diagnosis like that. But that's what I use, is dowsing, and then whatever comes up on the flower essences really gives you a lot of information about what's going on for that being. So, of course, you can use the same for plants and other things, like with the land, because I do a lot of healing for the land. Say there's a sick plant, you can talk to it, but you can also douse for its essences and see what it would like and spray it with essences or put essences in the water to water it with as part of a treatment for that.
That's amazing. Now, I have to ask you this. I hope you know the answer, because I've always been fascinated by it. How did they get those plants, those vegetables and everything to grow so big at Findhorn? Do you know?
Well, by working with the nature spirits. That's the whole. They're one of the places that really inspired me years ago, and as you might have read in the book, it's what sort of led me to come to Ireland was through Findhorn.
Yes, and now they grew things that were like nuclear in size. They were so enormous that just went above and beyond any past records. And it's like I've always been fascinated by that. And I've heard this before. They worked with the nature spirits, but my goodness, they really must have had a good relationship.
Yeah, well, I think it was on ground in Scotland that was really thought to be barren. So it wasn't exactly an easy place to grow vegetables anyway, let alone these massive ones that they managed to grow. But I think they had this amazing close relationship with the nature spirits, and they were following their working co-creatively, but really following what the nature spirits were requesting and going with that 100%. As much as they were able, and it just brought miraculous results.
It really
did. It just shows you what's possible when you really work together.
Gosh, that's amazing. Sure. That was amazing. Now, we have another caller here. I'm going to get him on the line. He has a question for you about maca root. So let's see if I can electronically do this, Patricia.
You can do anything you put your mind to. I know it.
There we go. Okay, Jim, you have a question for Carole. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Patricia and Carole. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Great.
Maca root. I went to an iridologist a year ago, and she looked into my eyes and she said, "My God," she said, "your hormones are terribly out of whack." I said, "What to do about it?" And she suggested taking maca root. And I just want to know if you have any. Have you heard about this? Do you know anything about that? It's grown in Peru, I understand, and it's
it's not one because I use mainly native plants, so I'm using European herbs. Maca root is not one that I use or have experience with, I'm afraid, so I can't say really much about it.
Well, then let me ask you this, please. What would you as a substitute for maca root, but that would be grown in your garden or a typical European garden?
Well, I don't know, because I don't know the actions of maca root. So it depends in what way your hormones are out, because what hormones exactly are out, obviously that brings into play your whole endocrine system.
It's like a thermostat. It regulates a lot of body functions, and so I was just wondering if you knew it, and if you don't, that's fine. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, no, I think, as I say, without knowing more about maca root and also exactly what your hormone condition is, I don't think I can properly answer that, I'm afraid. Sorry.
I'm going to throw one thing out there to you. There's a plant that's an extreme favorite of my daughter. She loves the bleeding heart plant.
Oh, yeah.
Does that have any medicinal purposes to that plant at all, or is it just more show?
Well, it's not used as a medicinal herb, but it is used as a flower essence, and its name tells, and it's a really potent flower essence. Its name really tells all about it, because it is literally for heartbreak and mending a broken heart. So
that is too funny, because not funny, but funny strange, because the only tattoo that my daughter wears is a bleeding, beautiful, not very large, but covers the top of one of her feet, a bleeding heart. And this is a girl who's recently gone through a very bad heartbreak. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So
if she loves that plant, I know FES in California make a bleeding heart. They sell a bleeding heart flower essence. That might she might find that helpful.
Sam, SES.
No, F-E-S. Fred Edward Sam.
Yes, okay, gotcha. I gotcha. Okay.
My accent, probably.
Oh, no, my old ears. Couldn't hear, but I hear it now. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful
Jim.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Isn't it fascinating how we gravitate towards certain things and then we find out that there's another connection that we hadn't even thought of at the time?
Yeah, and it's often the way with plants as well that people, because I find that with people coming looking for help, they've often got the very plant they need growing in their backyard, just growing around them, and so frequently when I mention a particular plant to them, they'll say, "That's so weird, it's growing right outside my door," or "it arrived in my garden." It's like they so often show up and are trying to help. They're really generous, the plant world. So yeah.
And it is amazing. We've heard this before on the show from Native American medicine people too. The very same thing, that whatever you need, your medicine is growing within this certain radius, and they cited a certain amount of yards or whatever. It'll be only this far from you.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's really true.
Yeah.
So it's, oh my goodness. And I'm thinking about all these dandelions I just pulled out of my...
Now you're going to have to figure out what's the problem that you need the dandelions for.
Yeah. And gosh, I don't want to waste those leaves. I'm going to cut them, and next time I go out to harvest dandelions, I will talk to them and see about using them in the salad with the leaves, because I have had dandelion leaves in salads before, and they're great, and they have a lot of iron content. They're really good for you. You can roast the root, I hear, and make a coffee-like substance. So,
I'm not that experimental.
Yeah, that is experimental.
But no, that really is that is dandelion coffee. The roasted root chopped up and boiled in a pan with water, and it makes this delicious drink. It's a bit different to coffee, but it looks similar, and it's so good for your liver. So it really helps with detoxing and helping the liver to work better.
I'm out of luck here. There's no dandelions here in Arizona that I've seen.
You're in Arizona.
I'll send you a box. I'll even cut them up for you.
Okay. But I need the root too.
Now, when somebody comes to you, and because you're a medical herbalist, I'm sure you do see people with serious illnesses like cancer and heart disease and things like that. And do you have any profound experiences with these patients you'd like to share?
Oh, well, certainly I see plants doing profound things. What to share? It's such a big question, Patricia.
Well, I'm just thinking of, I'm sure you've had some pretty spontaneous healings with people, and the plants that have enriched their health and their lives. It's, again, there's so many traditional methods of healing that are questionable. I mean, if you think about how many people are doing traditional ways to heal from cancer or heart disease, taking statin drugs or doing chemotherapy, and I'm saying I have nothing against that, so don't anybody misunderstand. Everybody has to choose their own path of healing. But I was just wondering if people have come to you for some of those very same illnesses and have been treated in your practice with herbs and had healing from it.
Well, yes. I mean, there are certainly wonderful alternatives to things like the statins and all the rest of it in the plant world. Like talking about heart disease, and earlier on we were talking about hawthorn, such a common plant. I don't suppose it's in Arizona much, but certainly up in the east, I reckon you'd have plenty of hawthorn, don't you? And that is wonderfully supportive and so strengthening and healing for the heart. And it's something people can take for the rest of their lives as a tea without any concerns about safety, because it is completely a safe plant. So, people who, I've certainly seen amazing results with hawthorn and heart disease. I mean, what I would, I'm always a little bit cautious making big statements if there are sort of vulnerable people out there listening, because I think they need to go to somebody to get somebody who knows the plants, who can advise them. But just to say, really, there are wonderful plants for heart disease and for all medicine.
Well, and as we all know, when someone has something like that in their lives, it's a whole system issue. It's not just there's an irregular heartbeat that has to be fixed.
No, exactly.
There's much more to it than that, and that's where the plants, with their spiritual connection to everything, I think they can make an even bigger difference, because there's a healing that can take place on many levels rather than just taking a pill and you want the cholesterol to go down or the heartbeat to straighten out or whatever.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. It's like you have to look at... Yeah, so if somebody, for instance, has serious heart condition, nearly always, there's going to be an underlying cause, and very often it's around heartbreak or grief or blocked heart energies in some way, and that's the core issue. And really, for me, I'm looking at a soul, wanting to always look at a soul level. What's going on? What is the soul's purpose in having this condition? What's the soul trying to achieve or trying to learn? And then looking at how best we can help support the soul in its journey. So, and that is the wonderful thing, exactly as you just said, that the plants are able to help a person on all the levels, not just the physical. The physical is one important part, and so are all the others. And it's completely different than just taking something, to treat one aspect.
Yeah, I mean, as a friend of mine who was a medical doctor once said, you don't take aspirin because you have an aspirin deficiency.
Yeah.
You're taking an aspirin because you're feeling something and it hurts and you want to get rid of that hurt, but it doesn't address why it's there in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what you're offering with this knowledge, this very deep knowledge you have of plants and the spiritual aspect. With the plants, it sounds like they can bring that wholeness back to people.
Yeah, and I think people are aware that that's what's missing. It's no point just trying to patch things up on the surface. It's like you want to get to the root cause, and the plants can do that. And they're just growing around us, It's not a coincidence.
It's amazing how much we take for granted.
To know this. Yeah. I'm sorry, Patricia, go ahead.
I was just saying, it's amazing how much we take for granted. We see them every day. We look at them, but we don't think of them as anything but just something that's there. It's part of the landscape. It's not part of the process.
Yeah. And I think because of the states that as humans we've kind of brought the planet to, it feels to me that the plants are sort of getting a bit more assertive, if you like.
Wow.
That they like with the dandelions being so obvious this year.
Right.
They're actually taking things more into their hands, if you like. So they're bringing our attention to it because we have, as you say, we've just taken them for granted, and not seen all that they're offering. So I do think that there is as I said before, a mission in place that they're getting much more proactive, which is exciting.
That is, yeah. What's next? My goodness. But yeah, and again, we just can't expect to take a pill and have everything be okay. We can get rid of some symptoms, but if you listen to any commercial for a pharmaceutical, they always list like 10 more things that you can get from taking that one pill.
Yes.
So
yes.
it becomes this kind. I'm listening to this thinking, who the heck would want to take this pill? It's a trade-off, one symptom for another. Yet at the same time, I don't want to knock medicine altogether. Sometimes it really does what it's supposed to do, and certainly emergency medicine is critical and much needed. But it comes to things like this where people want healing and they're not in dire straits, but they can come to you and they can have a consultation and actually walk away with some understanding on other levels about how this happened and how to treat it holistically.
Yeah. So, and I guess it's about all of us taking more responsibility, isn't it, rather than just going for the quick fix and treating the symptoms, actually taking responsibility for our own healing journey and looking at what is the cause of this and being prepared to do that rather than going to somebody and expecting them just to give a pill and that's it. Because I think sometimes we do that and that puts the medical profession in an awkward position, really, because we're kind of putting that expectation on them.
Yes,
so,
that's true. I never thought of it that way, but we do certainly put an expectation there. Now, Carole, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, they can get hold of me through my website. That's the best way, which is a name that I'll probably have to spell because it's the name of our townland where we live in Ireland, which is Derrynagittah.
Yes, you'll have to spell it.
Yes. So it's Derry, Derry. This is all one word, and then Nagittah. And what that means in Irish is the oak wood of the left-handed people.
Beautiful.
And that in Ireland, every area is divided into what they call townlands. So there's sort of 3 or 4 houses exist in that townland. So anyway, that's the name of my website. So it's www.derrynagittah.ie. And if you didn't get all the letters of that, you could always Google my name. It sounds like I'm not wanting to be found, doesn't it? But if you Google my name, you will get my website.
That's good. That's good. And everybody, again, Carole's book, which is wonderful and full of information and detailed information on how you can do these plant diets yourself. It's wonderful. And again, it's called Sacred Plant Initiations, Communicating with Plants for Healing and Higher Consciousness. And it is available on Amazon.com and in bookstores throughout the world, and it's well worth getting and keeping it as a handbook. So you can refer to this and learn how to make your own extracts, which are obviously very powerful. So, Carole, thank you so much for staying up so late with us tonight and talking with our audience and sharing all your wonderful information. We so appreciate it.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure talking with you. Yeah, probably what you said about Mercury retrograde and what did you say? Tomorrow we might be worn out. I might be, that's for sure.
It's about, we set you up ahead of time.
Yeah, but it's been delightful talking with you. So thank you so much, and good luck with your move to Inception Radio.
Yes, thank you. Well, when we go to Inception Radio and you have your next book come out, we want you to come back and share that with us. I know you've got another one coming. I'm sure you do. So, well, again, thank you so much. Carole Guyett is the author of Sacred Plant Initiations. So, Patricia, what a wonderful evening this has been with everybody.
It has indeed. It has
another great show.
How fortunate we are to have so many wonderful people.
I know. We are blessed to have these great people take their time to come and talk to us and our loyal Supernatural Girls audience. It's great, great fun. Now, next week, we are going to have Dr. Susan Shumsky, who is going to be coming on talking about how to open your third eye. I want to hear about that.
So do I.
Yeah, we're going to open it up, finally.
Definitely.
Once and for all.
I need to find that extra space to know what I'm really doing.
Yes, we need to see into those other realms. We are ready. So anyways, it's been great, and thank you, everybody, for listening. Be sure to tune in next week, and we will see you on the Blue Highway. Good night, everybody. Good night, Patricia.
Good night, Patricia. Good night, Cliff.